Hi, so welcome to a video by Archangel Raphael. So this video is going to be about identity. So first Archangel Raphael is going to talk about this, and then we're going to go into a clearing and healing about this. So just going to let Raphael come in first. I would like you to know that what I am seeing about identity is that it is very much connecting in to a part of you that is connecting to your sense of self on earth. So identity is not necessarily about the spirit. It can be, but not necessarily. But it tends to be more about the earth and the ways that you are identifying with certain aspects of the earth. It also is about being able to go deeper within. And for some of you, what you will find is your identity is very much based on the things you do on the earth plane. Earthly things you are interested in, you do. The things that you feel are very much reflecting you. But others here will find that their identity is much more about being in one way or another in their own flow spirit, much less about the outside, more about the inside. The things that you feel are very much a part of you on a deep level of your being. What I will say generally is whether you find your identity from the outside by finding things on the earth that truly resonate with you, or whether you find it by going within, attuning to your inner being and who you are on the inside. It is ultimately very much about going deeper and deeper and finding the essence of who you are, whether that is through the earth and earthly processes, things that you go through on earth to discover yourself, or whether it is by journeying on the inside. But what I will say is for some of you here, it is that you are ultimately unable to find who you are on this level of your being, on a grounded level, because there is something missing, perhaps something that has happened to in some way or another interfere with this process. Perhaps it is to do with childhood trauma, where you were really not allowed to have your own identity, where you were forced to do things that were not you. Perhaps it has come in from elsewhere. Perhaps literally you have felt that a part of you has been absent. Perhaps something has happened in your life, catastrophic. Perhaps it is even something else altogether, like a part of you that never came in during the process of being born. But it is, I will say, some of you here do not really have this inside you for some reason, that something has interfered in this process of becoming who you are. And others here have a very strong identity, but it is perhaps very much based on things outside of you. And perhaps it is a case of really needing to go a bit deeper, because it may be that what is outside of you is perhaps limited by the things that have happened in your life. So you may have only attracted certain experiences, certain things, because of limitations, perhaps even from your ancestors, limiting the level you are able to expand in the world, discover, and therefore what you are able to discover about yourself. And those of you who are more inclined to go inwards to discover who you are, you may also find that there are things that interfere with this process, such as energies that come in from the outside to stop you from being able to go deep enough to really find yourself. Perhaps judgments from others, external energies, interference, perhaps even devices, cords, things that stop you from being able to find certain aspects of yourself. I will say that it may even be connected to things which are more, in one way or another, considered a bit unusual, like things which are more extraterrestrial, that have interfered with you finding yourself. So perhaps things which are designed to stop you from going deeper, because what is going on is that certain parts of your energy are being used by other beings. So very unusual things as well can be going on, because some of you have been interfered with in this way. What I will say generally is the subject matter I am speaking of is quite complex, and it is really interesting that people who have really discovered their true self on earth and really grounded it will have gone through a process. Every single person who has done this will have been through some kind of process, and some people will actually find that when they go really deep and really find themselves and ground who they are on earth, that they will ultimately inspire many people, at least a few thousand normally, because being your true self on earth, having your true identity here, is a very powerful experience, and ultimately you inspire people everywhere you go. So it is very normal to inspire many people when you are able to do this. My final message about all of this, which you may find interesting, is that identity is not actually the same as having a strong personality. So some people have a very strong energy actually on earth. They have a type of energy that is very much going to affect many people, a strong personality, but it is not necessarily who they are, their true self. It is not necessarily even resonating with who they are, but it is that what they are able to do is actually, in one way or another, have a lot of life force energy and use it in whatever way they want. So people who have strong personalities often have these strong energies that are in them that really get expressed in a way that is very powerful on earth. But it is not the same as identity. It is not the same as knowing yourself. So sometimes you may have certain parts of you which are very strong and powerful, such as the ability to speak up for yourself, the ability to perhaps do certain things really easily, and really have a strong impact on the world in this way. But it may not actually be reflecting who you are. It may be that that part of you has been in some way or another developed over time to compensate for other parts. So someone who speaks up for themselves a lot, it may be coming from a place of deep trauma. And when this trauma is healed, they might find themselves actually wanting to be quiet, to be with themselves. But the trauma may make them actually express themselves very strongly, which can then feel in some way or another out of balance as well to people. And it is good for you to know that when you are really in your true self, your true identity, it can be the complete opposite of what you may have been in the past, when you have been in certain types of energies more to do with personality. So this is also something that you may discover over time. But I will work on all of you, and I would like you to know that you will ultimately all find your true identity on earth, who you are really in spirit, but in a grounded way, as you set your intention for this, and you may be surprised what you discover. So I will do all of this now, and for those of you who feel you are lacking a strong earthly identity, it is good for you to repeat this numerous times so you can discover yourself more deeply. So doing all of this now. So I will say this is done. Yeah, so thank you everyone for listening, and much love to all of you.